Imagine opening ChatGPT in the United States. You type a question, expecting an instant answer, but suddenly, something feels different. The AI refuses to answer certain queries. Features you used yesterday are limited today. You ask yourself, why is ChatGPT restricted in my own country? The reality is that the US government, regulators, and tech watchdogs are taking AI seriously, perhaps more seriously than any previous technology. ChatGPT isn't just a tool, it's a system capable of generating content, advice, and information that can influence millions. And with great influence comes great responsibility, or, in this case, regulation. Safety concerns are the first major reason for restrictions. ChatGPT can sometimes produce misinformation, biased content, or dangerous instructions. Lawmakers fear that without proper oversight, AI could become a tool for harm. Think about it: misleading medical advice, unsafe DIY instructions, or even subtle political manipulation, all of these are real possibilities. And in a country as large and diverse as the US, the stakes are incredibly high. Privacy is another huge factor. ChatGPT processes massive amounts of data every second. American regulators are asking questions like, who sees this data? How long is it stored? Could it be misused? This means companies like OpenAI must comply with privacy laws, sometimes limiting functions or access to certain features. For users, this can look like annoying restrictions, but behind the scenes, it's a legal and ethical necessity. Competition also plays a role. Tech giants and lawmakers know that AI companies hold enormous power. If one company dominates AI, it could control the information millions of people rely on. Restrictions and regulations are partly meant to ensure smaller companies can still compete and to prevent monopolies. Then there's the ethical dimension. ChatGPT can reflect biases from its training data. That means sometimes it unintentionally favors certain viewpoints, underrepresents others, or even generates offensive content. In the US, lawmakers and tech watchdogs are insisting on safeguards to reduce these risks. This is why some prompts are blocked or filtered. The AI is being taught to avoid potential harm, at least for now. The stakes go even higher when you consider national security. AI systems like ChatGPT could theoretically be exploited to influence elections, spread propaganda, or even assist in cyber attacks. US regulators are acutely aware of this, which is why some of the strictest restrictions focus on sensitive information, political topics, and real-time internet access. For everyday users, these restrictions are noticeable. You may try to ask ChatGPT about recent news, controversial topics, or certain technical instructions, and get an error message or a warning. Some features, like plugins or browsing the web, might only be available to paid subscribers or in limited form. For many people, this feels frustrating, especially if they are used to the full capabilities of ChatGPT in other countries. Let's talk about the impact on international users, including Ukrainians who rely on ChatGPT for studying English, coding, or research. If you're physically in the US, your experience might be restricted compared to someone accessing the AI from Europe or Asia. This creates a new kind of digital border. Access depends not on who you are, but where you are located. There are also real-life examples of how these restrictions affect people. Imagine a student in New York trying to complete a homework assignment using ChatGPT. Suddenly, a critical feature is blocked because the prompt contains politically sensitive words. Or a developer testing a new AI plugin finds it doesn't work in the US due to regulatory limits. These are not rare cases, they are becoming more common as the US imposes stricter oversight. Interestingly, some experts argue that restrictions could actually improve AI. By filtering harmful content, enforcing privacy, and making companies accountable, ChatGPT might become more trustworthy in the long run. Users might complain now, but in 5 or 10 years, these measures could protect millions from misinformation, scams, and unsafe instructions. There's also a social angle. In the US, people are debating, should AI be free and open, or should it be restricted for safety? Some tech enthusiasts argue that restrictions stifle innovation. Others say that without oversight, AI could cause serious harm in society. For Ukrainian students, freelancers, and remote workers, these debates matter, because your access, efficiency, and learning opportunities are directly affected. Finally, let's discuss what you can do as a user. First, stay informed, follow official updates from OpenAI and US regulators. Second, use alternative tools when necessary. Some AI platforms are less restricted internationally. Third, adapt your workflow, know which features are limited, plan for worka. Now that we understand the reasons behind US restrictions on ChatGPT, let's dive into the specifics. What exactly is limited, and how does it affect everyday users, including international visitors, students, and professionals? First, there are content restrictions. Certain topics trigger automatic filters. For example, if you ask ChatGPT for detailed instructions on hacking, illegal activities, or sensitive political manipulation, the AI may refuse to respond. Even seemingly harmless topics, like controversial social issues, can result in filtered answers. These restrictions are not random, they are enforced to comply with US laws and guidelines. Second, some features are geographically restricted. For example, ChatGPT's real-time web browsing, code interpretation, or specialized plugins may not be available to users in the US, or might only be available to paid subscribers. This creates a noticeable difference compared to other countries, where the same AI features may be fully functional. Third, subscription tiers affect access. OpenAI offers free access, but it comes with more limitations. Paid tiers often unlock more capabilities, including plugins, advanced code tools, and browsing. For US users, these tiers are not just convenience, they are sometimes the only way to access certain functions legally. Now, let's look at real-life user experiences. In New York, a university student tried to use ChatGPT for a research project. When asking for statistics on a controversial topic, the AI refused to provide certain data, citing policy restrictions. Frustrated, the student had to find alternative sources manually, slowing down their work. A software developer reported a similar situation. While testing a new plugin for ChatGPT, certain coding prompts were blocked in the US. However, the same plugin worked perfectly when accessed from Europe. The restrictions are location-based, not user-based, meaning your IP address can determine what you can or cannot do. International users, including Ukrainians, also notice the difference. Many rely on ChatGPT for learning English, writing essays, coding, or generating creative content. When they travel to the US or use US-based servers, features that were accessible before suddenly disappear or become restricted. This digital border can be frustrating and confusing, especially for remote workers or students who depend on consistent AI access. Another issue is response filtering. The AI may intentionally avoid answering questions that could be perceived as politically sensitive, controversial, or unsafe. For example, asking for step-by-step instructions on a controversial topic may result in a vague or censored answer. While frustrating, this is a safeguard designed to protect both users and OpenAI from legal liabilities. There are also updates and sudden changes. OpenAI frequently updates ChatGPT's policies to comply with new regulations or legal guidance. One day a feature works perfectly, the next day it's limited or removed. This unpredictability can be challenging for professionals who rely on AI for work, research, or learning. Interestingly, some US restrictions are actually user-friendly in disguise. By filtering unsafe content, preventing the spread of misinformation, and protecting sensitive data, ChatGPT reduces the risk that users will accidentally create or share harmful information. From this perspective, the restrictions are designed to create a safer AI environment, even if it feels limiting. User reactions are mixed. Many tech enthusiasts complain about the restrictions, calling them AI censorship or overregulation. Others, including educators and parents, welcome these measures because they prevent students from accessing harmful or inappropriate content. The debate is ongoing, and it reflects a larger societal question: how much control should governments or companies have over AI? There's also a financial impact. US-based restrictions can make AI access more expensive for users who rely on premium features to bypass limitations. Paid subscriptions are sometimes the only way to unlock restricted tools legally. This adds a layer of inequality, as those who cannot afford premium tiers may be excluded from certain AI functionalities. Finally, these restrictions affect creativity and productivity. Writers, students, programmers, and marketers notice the limitations in real-world tasks. For example, a writer trying to generate a script about a sensitive historical event may receive a filtered or incomplete response. A developer testing code may encounter blocked prompts. These limitations are frustrating, but they also reflect a broader attempt to balance innovation with safety. In summary, US restrictions on ChatGPT are multi-layered: content filters, geographic limitations, subscription tiers, and legal compliance. Users experience these limitations daily, whether they are students, developers, creatives, or international travel. Now that we've explored why the US is restricting ChatGPT and how users are affected, the big question is, what's next? What does the future hold for AI access in America, and how can users adapt? First, let's talk about future regulations. US lawmakers are actively discussing frameworks to regulate AI responsibly. This could include stricter oversight of data usage, mandatory safety checks for AI responses, and clear rules on what AI can and cannot generate. While some fear this will stifle innovation, others believe it will create a safer and more reliable AI ecosystem. The next few years will likely bring incremental changes. Restrictions may tighten in some areas, for example, real-time web access or politically sensitive content, but could also relax as AI safety improves and legal frameworks become clearer. OpenAI and other AI companies are in constant dialogue with regulators to ensure compliance while keeping AI useful for the public. For users, there are strategies to adapt. First, stay informed. Follow official announcements from OpenAI and US regulatory bodies to know which features are restricted or modified. Being aware of policy updates can save you time and frustration. Second, consider using alternative platforms. While ChatGPT is the most popular AI chatbot, there are other AI tools and platforms available internationally that may offer fewer restrictions. For instance, some platforms provide advanced coding tools, creative writing features, or browsing capabilities without strict US-based limitations. This is especially useful for students, professionals, and creatives who need consistent access. Third, adapt your workflow. Understand which prompts or features are restricted and plan workarounds. For example, if you need research assistance on a sensitive topic, use multiple sources, summarize information manually, or test alternative phrasing to get around filters. While slightly inconvenient, this ensures you can continue using AI effectively. Let's also consider the potential benefits of these restrictions. Limiting unsafe content, enforcing privacy, and filtering biased responses can make ChatGPT more trustworthy. Users may find that the AI becomes more reliable over time, with fewer mistakes and less harmful output. In this sense, restrictions are not just barriers, they are safety measures. International users, including Ukrainians, can also benefit from these developments. By learning how to navigate US restrictions, they gain skills to access AI safely worldwide. Understanding limitations, using VPNs where legal, or choosing platforms with international servers can help maintain consistent AI usage without running into unexpected blocks. Another important aspect is ethical AI use. Restrictions encourage users to think critically about how they interact with AI. Instead of relying on the AI for everything, users are prompted to verify information, cross-check facts, and approach AI-generated content responsibly. This builds digital literacy and prevents over-reliance on potentially flawed AI outputs. Looking ahead, AI in the US will likely be more structured and regulated, but also safer. Companies may introduce verified sources, better fact-checking, and stricter moderation to comply with regulations. For users, this may initially feel restrictive, but it ultimately creates a more trustworthy and reliable AI ecosystem. Finally, consider this: the US restrictions are a glimpse into the global future of AI regulation. Other countries may follow suit, each introducing their own rules on AI access, content generation, and data usage. Learning to navigate restrictions today prepares users for a world where AI is everywhere, but access is carefully managed. In conclusion, ChatGPT restrictions in the US are driven by safety, privacy, ethics, competition, and national security concerns. Users experience limitations in content, features, and access, but these measures also aim to protect society and improve AI reliability. By staying informed, exploring alternatives, and using AI responsibly, you can continue benefiting from this powerful tool. The future of AI is evolving rapidly. Restrictions may seem frustrating today, but they are part of a larger effort to make artificial intelligence safe, trustworthy, and sustainable. And for users who adapt and learn, the possibilities remain endless. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More shocking facts about AI, technology, and digital innovation are coming. Stay ahead of the curve, because the AI revolution is only getting started.